Okay, it is the day after Thanksgiving, and it's a nice dreary day out today, but it's going to be perfect for what we're doing, assuming it doesn't actually rain. Andrea wanted to protect the chickens in the winter time, so when it gets cold here, now cold is a relative term because we're in Horry County, South Carolina, but Andrea was concerned that if there would be too much cold wind blowing on the chickens, it might get them sick. So what we did is we went to Lowe's and we got some greenhouse polycarbonate panels, which there's one right here. And we're going to cut all of these panels and put them in between all of the 2x4s all the way around the run and underneath the coop area. So what we're doing is, here's the panels here. And these are fairly inexpensive. They're like $20 or $21 a panel. And so we are cutting them on the table saw here. And when I was reading the instructions on how to cut these, the instructions said you take the table saw blade and you flip it backwards, and that's how you cut it. So the table saw blade still goes its normal direction, which is this way, but it's backwards. And so we just cut these two pieces and they cut fine as soon as we got used to actually cutting very thin plastic. But if you look on the back here, I got this one to actually stay up, and so that's what it's going to look like. We wanted them clear so they could still see through them, but that should protect against the wind in the winter months. And then what we're going to do is, after we finish cutting the panels, I'm going to flip the blade back to the way it's supposed to be, and we're going to take a little pressure treated piece here, a cleat, and seriously? And we're going to take the cleat. Actually, it's not Ern, it's Rose. Rose must be getting ready to lay an egg. There she is, complaining right there. So, sorry, chicken sidetrack. And so we're going to take these pleats and we're going to screw them in on the side. So then in the springtime, all we got to do is just take these and just take them up. And then we can store them. And then we can put them back in the winter. Then when we get to the part of underneath the coop where we can't just yank them straight up, we're going to have the panels. Andre didn't want the panels to come all the way to the top. She wanted them down a little bit. And we're not going to have the... Wait a second. There we go. We're not going to have the cleats go all the way up to the top. We'll stop them about right here or so. So then we can be able to slide the panel in and out. So that's the game plan. And hopefully it's not going to take too long, but you know how that always goes with construction projects. So that is our job for today. And the sisters will be normal. They'll freak out when we're moving the panels, but as soon as the panels are up, they'll be fine. Because like that one's standing up over there and nobody really cares. Just as a side note, let me move over here. Let me zoom in, see if we can... Now I can't get out of the mesh. But there is a flower pot container, and that's where the baby grit is. So of course the big girls... Oh, Andre opened the door. Hold on. Alright, there's a picture of it right there. I get to see Hermione's back end too. And that's the baby grit, because they're... Andrea, how old are they going to be? Are they going to be 8 weeks on Sunday?
Yes.
Alright, they're going to be 8 weeks on Sunday, so there they are right there. And right now we're kind of fighting with them on getting on the roost at night, because Samantha decided she was tired of being a mother. So she's actually laying eggs again, and she wants to be a regular chicken for a while.
See, she's in the middle of the... She's in the middle of the girl's eating. That's her in the middle.
Oh, all right. That's Samantha right there. And so Samantha's pretty much gone back to being a regular chicken. So she's sleeping up on the roost with the other chickens. But the babies are still going into the nesting box at night. So what we've been doing is we have been manually taking them back to the roost. So we go in there after dark and grab them and put them up on the roost. Once they get on the roost, they're fine, but their instinct is to still go in the nesting box. If they do it for too much longer, then we're gonna have to figure out a way to block the nesting boxes, which I'm not really wanting to do, but we might have to. And so there's Hermione up on top of the outside roost area, on top of the perch. Typically, if there's a chicken up there, she's the one that's there. And in the summertime, when we have our windows open there, she's the one that's always on top. And so evidently she likes to be in high places. So anyway, digressing with the chickens in general. So that's what we're going to do today. So like I said, we cut the first pieces. Then I have 2 pieces of 2x4s here. And so we're going to rip those down, because we have a table saw, into about 3/4 by 3/4 inch pieces. And then we're going to use the miter saw, cut them down to length. And then the fun is going to begin, because we're going to have to drill holes into the pieces of wood and then put screws to attach them in. But as soon as we attach them, then we don't ever have to do that again. So in the future, theoretically, the only thing we got to do is take the panels up and put them down. So all the hard work is going to be done this year. So, all right, I will quit rambling and then we will start working. Okay, Mother Nature is giving us a forced break sometime, because even though it was not supposed to rain, it's actually sprinkling out. So we did the final bit of the cutting with sprinkling rain, which I was not too excited about, but it's done and the saws are back in the shed, so that's good. So we got every piece cut here, and these we had to cut again, because these are shorter than the ones there because of the coop itself. So like Andre has it right there, so it's going to be there like that
to allow airflow underneath.
Yeah, Andre wanted a little bit of airflow on the top, plus it'll help us take the things out. And then here's, whoa, there we go. Here's all of our cleats. These are the cleats that are going underneath the coop. These are the ones that are going everywhere else. So the next thing we got to do as soon as it stops raining, is we're going to put I got to drill holes in every single one of those. And then
okay, Rose,
we have to then finally screw them in. And Rose, for some reason, has been acting weird the entire time. So we don't know if she's trying to lay an egg and she can't, or if this is what she normally does and we're just not out here to witness the glory of Rose having a rose fit. So now all we got to do is wait for the rain to end. All right, so we're putting the panels up now, and this keeps happening. Sherlock is our supervisor dog, so he keeps, about every 5 minutes or so, he comes over and has to investigate what we're doing. Lady Pants over there doesn't really care, but Sherlock does. So yeah, we got to do this. So I have to stop and do this every 2 minutes. So, but at least he's a good supervisor, or at least he thinks he does. Well, I also have another supervisor, which is Lacey right here. So I moved to a panel. Lacey comes over. There's Rose, of course. And then either Hermione or ML come over. So not only do I have Sherlock being the supervisor dog, but I also got the sisters. Okay, with the help of our helper dog and our helper chickens, we got it done. That piece is the only one that did not go in, and the only reason it did not go in is that if you can see the stud right there, it like jackknives to the right a little bit, so the whole stud curves to the right. So we're gonna have to hopefully sand that piece of plexiglass, and then maybe we can be able to get it in that way, because I really don't want to have to get the table saw back out just for that. So the chickens, of course, they were all freaked out when we started installing them. Then about halfway they didn't care, and then on the last side they were being inquisitive. So that's what it looks like. Just the purpose of this is to, oh, hold on a second. The purpose of this is to keep the wind off of them in the winter time, just on the bottom level, because when they're in the run, they're 90% will be below this. And even our little roost thing we have over here, if the chicken is sitting down on the roost, then it should be theoretically under the top of the plexiglass. And so, but as you can see, it's pretty clear, because you can see most of on the other side. You can tell that the corrugation is there, but that's about it. Oh, Ern is actually up there. Most of the time it's Hermione that's up on the roost. But yeah, except for that one piece, I call it successful. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to finally, let me zoom in. Oh, hold on. We're going to finally paint the shed. Now the shed, we determined when we got the color for the coop, the shed and the coop are going to be the same color. So the shed is going to be this same color green that the coop is. So that paint, it's been several months since we, hold on. All right, there's a metal workshop on the other side of the coop over there.
There you go.
And
They're standing up.
And so one of the workers there doesn't have a muffler on his truck, so you can hear it from like a mile away. So I had to wait till he went by. So yeah, there's two of the chickens standing up right now. And so when they go to sit down, they should be theoretically below the top of the plexiglass. But since the coop and the shed are the same color, we have to mix the paint. So I was just going to, when we paint the shed, we're going to take the plexiglass back off. We're going to paint these and then let them dry, and then we're going to put them back on. But I just wanted to do a field test on this just to make sure that these were actually going to fit, and except for that one, they all did. So hopefully this will keep the chickens nice and protected in the winter, and then when it starts warming back up in middle to late spring, then we'll take it back off. But at least next year I don't have to put the cleats on or cut the panels.